Ohio State got a good one, 86-83. How about Malachi Branham's numbers as of late? 31 points, 27 points, 22 points this past 3. He had 31 on Thursday night. He's averaging almost 1.5 points per shot and shooting 70% from the field. He is the Big Ten freshman of the year. He has been awesome. He has become the breakout guy, the clear number 2 to EJ Liddell, who hit a smooth shot to kind of keep Ohio State with a little bit of a cushion with like a minute to go in that game. But Branham's been awesome. And oh, by the way, he's like a top 25 defender in the country. He's really, really good on both ends of the floor there. So a nice win for Ohio State, which got down early, then roared back to a double-digit lead that it had for most of the second half. Then Underwood gets yanked. Illinois rallied. You had Alfonso Plummer had a good game. Trent Frazier had a couple of big shots. And then after Kofi fouled out with 4.5 to go, and I didn't like that 5th foul. I thought it was a bad call. But Kofi didn't do a ton. I don't want to call him a non-entity, but he was not one of the 4 or 5 most important players of this game. Ohio State hangs on. Oh, by the way, after EJ Liddell apparently was like suffering from the flu or flu-like symptoms. So they weren't even sure if he was going to play. Had they not had him, Illinois wins the game, I think, because he wound up being pretty big. And then Ohio State finally got a win over a legitimate team. It hadn't done that, Parrish, in like a month and a half, 2 months, beating a team that's projected to make it to the NCAA tournament, or at least safely make it to the NCAA tournament. So they finally get that win. Illinois takes a home loss. It was a good scene on a pretty good Thursday night.
Earlier in the week, after Ohio State beat Indiana, I led the top 25 and won with the Buckeyes, and made the point that, it just sort of occurred to me, we haven't really talked about them as a basketball team much this season at all. Like, why? It's a big brand. It's in the Big Ten. They've been ranked all year. What's interesting about Ohio State is that they have been, since the second game this season, ranked between 13th and 24th at KenPom. So they've been in that range where not quite great, but not bad. So not great enough to talk about, but not bad enough to talk about. No long winning streaks that make you pay attention. No long losing streaks that make you pay attention. How about this? This is still true as of this minute. Ohio State this season has never won more than 2 Big Ten games in a row, and has never lost 2 straight Big Ten games. So they just like win 2, lose 1, win 2, lose. Like we talk about Indiana because they go on a 5-game losing streak, or we talk about Arkansas because they go 12-1 in a 13-game stretch. Those are the types of things that typically get your attention. Big wins, big winning streaks, crazy losing streaks. And Ohio State's just been rock solid steady all season, which is great, but it lacks the stuff that makes people, pay attention and point to them, which I guess is the latest example of Chris Holtmann not getting the respect he deserves.
He got some respect on the previous pod as well. I can't remember what, but I did bring him up. I gave him a little bit of respect there. Yeah, and Ohio State, I do think Ohio State serves as with everything that you just said, they could still be like a really valuable Elite 8 play in the tournament. We'll see how the bracket shakes out and all that. Here are the metrics. You mentioned that they've also gotten their results have also led them to be about as steady as any team, if not as steady as literally any team across team sheet metrics. Even Gonzaga, which is number 1 in the net and all predictives, Gonzaga is 7th in KPI and 9th in strength of record. Okay. How about Ohio State here? Floating between 15 and 19 in every single team sheet metric. 15 in KPI, 15 in strength of record, 17 in net, 18 in Sagarin, 19 BPI, 19 KenPom. I don't know if there's another team that has a smaller window between all 6 than Ohio State. Good team. Probably, we'll see what does in the Big Ten tournament. Like if you told me Ohio State, we look up and Holtmann's got him in the Big Ten championship game, I'm not going to be surprised whatsoever. And maybe that bumps them from the 5 seed, it appears to be, to like the 4 line or whatever. I don't know. But I do think that this team is unlike last season, it got knocked out as a 2. I get that. They lose to Oral Roberts. They get knocked out right away. Quick boot in the bracket. I don't think that this group is going to be that. I'd say it's going to be fairly safe to avoid the upset in the first round, so long as everyone is healthy, obviously. And again, Branham is just, he's a little bit on a rocket at the moment here. We'll see if that can continue. Safe out of the first game, and then a viable threat to make a deep run. Not even unthinkable that they could make a Final Four, but I think that would more be a process if they look up and their Elite Eight opponent is a lower seeded team than maybe we thought they would have been. But no, they've been good, and I thought that was actually, it was an important win for the Buckeyes to get, because they had not been proving it as of late against the better competition in the Big Ten for the most part. They get that, and they're not going to win the league. They're not going to finish top of the league ledger, but they're going to set themselves up well. I can't see them being worse. Personally, I don't think they're going to lose bad games going forward. I can't see Ohio State being worse than a 5 seed when we get to Selection Sunday.
To your point about them avoiding an upset in the NCAA tournament, they only have 2 losses outside of quadrant 1, no losses outside of the first 2 quadrants. So they really haven't, a lot of teams have taken bad losses. A lot of good teams have taken bad losses this season. Ohio State really hasn't lost to any terrible teams. I'm with you. Is this a round of 32 team or a Sweet 16 team or an Elite 8 team? We'll see. But I'd be surprised if they're eliminated in the round of 64 again.